Good morning, everyone. Thank you for listening for my research presentation. My research is titled Do Investors Value Firms' Application of Cryptocurrency and Blockchain Technology? Focus on investor reaction towards these two topics. And my name is Shensi Wang. I'm from Lang College as an assistant professor of accounting. My co-author are my two mentors in my PhD study, Waymond Rodgers and Dr. Aaron Nielsen. They are great helpful for me and they provide a lot of suggestions, opinion for my research, and I'm really thankful for them. Okay, so first, why I want to research this question. So the first thing is because blockchain and cryptocurrency, especially cryptocurrency, are very popular right now. So now we're in the age of AI, so people tend to be crazy about everything digital, especially for Bitcoins. We know, especially earlier this year, we see the price of Bitcoins reach to historical highs. So a lot of companies and people earned a lot from selling cryptocurrencies. Okay, so now we know cryptocurrency is famous for its high volatility. So if this is highly risky, now people tend to have a negative opinion toward to this, and sometimes people even think cryptocurrency investing is same as gambling. So, um, if company engage in such business or they have operation related to cryptocurrency, will investors have negativity towards that? Or they probably have positive towards that. So that's kind of a mystery because according to current public research, they found mixed opinions towards this research. For example, some people find that investors have positive reaction if a companies disclose cryptocurrency related information in their 8K. Okay, but some people find the investors have negative or even no opinion toward to cryptocurrency related information, right? And people turn to have to see investors have positive opinion toward blockchain because blockchain, even though they combine it with cryptocurrency, but they can do other things has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. For example, this is a good solution for at a data center. So they can save data. Okay, so they can improve companies' cybersecurity. So you see, all these functions has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. Okay, so we want to know whether investors have different opinion toward the thing when they're at different topics or when they combine together. So my research question is pretty straightforward. Do investors value a firm's adoption of cryptocurrency or blockchain technology? Okay, so for more precisely, we want to know, all right, how will investors react to that? When and will they treat these two topics differently? Okay. So now let's talk about the model we will use. So for the model, this is developed by a mentor, Waymond Rodgers. So for this one, you can see we have four aspects. The first one is perception. So perception turn of your idea about certain things. This could be based on your past experience, your knowledge about certain things. So this is based on your thinking. Okay, this could be reasonable or non-reasonable because you have some ideas about this. Okay, information. Okay, just information outside. It could be news you collected, research you read, the study you see. Okay, so that is information you collected. So we see there has double error toward perception and information. That means we can either be affected by information collected. For example, in our case, we see a lot of negative news toward cryptocurrency, and then that's affect my opinion toward cryptocurrency. I believe that is negative. And then Or sometimes that is opposite, all right? Because I believe certain things is wrong. Like I believe cryptocurrency investment is good thing. Okay, then I collect a lot of evidence to prove that. You will find a lot of things that tells you cryptocurrency investment is worthwhile. Then I use this information to make my judgment and my final decision, whether I want to invest in or not. So this is about this whole model. So it is uh, a reflection of how people thinking when they make their decisions. Then we have six algorithm pathways to can be found in this throughput model. So first the P2D. So this is very straightforward. So I just based on my experience, based on my certain knowledge about certain things, then I might directly make decisions without thinking of anything else. PGD is first. Okay, now I have some opinions, but I want to make some analysis to say, okay, was this good or bad before I'm making my fast decision. The third one is the most common one. For this one, first I collect information and I make my judgment analysis based on the information I collected and then make my decision. The first one is first I collect information and this information affect my opinion towards certain things and I make my decision. Number five, okay, value-driven pathway. For this one is first, I have my opinion, and then I collect information based on what I think about certain things. So now the information verify my opinion, then I make my judgment, and then make my final decisions. Last one, the global perspective pathway. For this one is first I collect information, and this information affect my opinion towards certain things. And then I make a certain analysis, and finally I make my decision. So far, we have no idea which pathway really reflects the investor's reaction toward um, cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies. So we first the idea is to find which pathway reflect their thoughts. Okay, so now in the published research or news articles, um, if we read about blockchain adoption, we will find, okay, there has certain positive reaction toward blockchain. So they can say, because now in the age of AI, like everybody's crazy about AI. AI is very good helpful to for daily jobs. And now like giant companies like the Magnificent Seven, they invest huge in AI technologies. And so to improve the AI's work efficiency, blockchain is a good helper. So this probably will help blockchain to obtain positive reaction from investors. And also because blockchain is a great resources and solution for data saving. So blockchain can help investors to better understand a company's information. For negative, first, okay, it's a huge investment, so it's costly and energy consumption, high energy consumption. So now we are in a environment friendly world, and everybody want to green energy, right? So they probably do not fancy high energy consumption. And also, this is high technology requirement. So, okay, everybody know blockchain technology is good, but the investor probably have no idea why it's good, and they could not understand the information disclosed by the company. It's only if they have certain technology background, they probably will understand what the company is talking about. And also, you know, even though we know blockchain can help to improve companies' cybersecurity, but we know as long as it's digital, it is facing high risk of cyber attack, especially when blockchain is combined with cryptocurrencies, is another highly risk that will be targeted by the hackers. For cryptocurrency, now we will see more negative reviews toward this topic. Okay, we know it's famous for high volatility. You can see the high stock price in day first, probably after 4 or 5 days, then the stock price, then the cryptocurrency's price will drop to the bottom. We see this quite often. And if you see the histogram of cryptocurrency, you will see this the flows pretty dramatic. Okay, and also it lacks regulations. Right now, we do not have very clear regulation toward cryptocurrency. So that is why it's kind of risky. And people and companies sometimes they just do what they want about cryptocurrency. And also, right, because it's popular. And one Bitcoin, for example, it has high value. So that is easier to be target. So that is another risky. And also, right? Because, for example, companies, now we have another option that you can invest your retirement planning into cryptocurrency. So, for example, let's say the cryptocurrency's value dropped to history low, then the company will face legal risk. It is highly risky. So that no wonder people sometimes compare it with gambling. Okay, so for positive reaction, we know that is very efficient in transaction and also it has it can diverse portfolio risk. But generally speaking, we have negative in that. So that's my hypothesis. I didn't make any direction. I just found uh, such disclosures uh, will associate with a market value change, but I didn't give any direction. Okay, my sample is from 2014 to 23. The reason I select 2014 is because it's the first year I can detect the keywords related to cryptocurrency or blockchain. And 23 is the last year I can obtain the complete face inform 10 case. Okay, when I prepare this data, some companies haven't disclosed their information for 2024, so that is why I didn't collect the year. So in the final, I only have 438 companies that disclose blockchain information or cryptocurrency information. So that you can see the data size is pretty small and quite limited. So that's why um, the research number is quite limited. So my perception is the keywords toward the keywords the company disclose. So if the company disclose any information that contains the keywords uh, toward cryptocurrency, blockchain, then I'll code it as one. For information, I use profitability, liquidity, um, Bitcoin's price, and firm size as control variables. For judgment, I use the Z-score of the information variables. And the decision, I use the 3-day optimal returns to reflect the investors' decision making. And the day zero is when the company discloses their 10Ks. Okay, so for the statistics, you can briefly say, okay, from day one to day -1, uh, the mean value is all negative 0.001, and we can see the P25 and the median levels are negative. Okay, so this reflects that investors have negative opinion toward blockchain and cryptocurrency. And if we see the correlation matrix, and if we see the correlation between blockchain and the abnormal returns, generally we see negative correlation for all the four keywords except for virtual currency. Okay, so for virtual currency, we can see here. So for virtual currency, it has a positive. One possibility guessing is that virtual currency is not exactly cryptocurrency. Okay, the digital currency and the virtual currency I select as keywords is because sometimes the company will use these two keywords to indicate their cryptocurrency investment, but they could be interpreted as other meanings. Digital currency can just be digital version of the real currency. And virtual currency can be, okay, you purchase a company's virtual currency and play their online games. But that's also called virtual currency. Okay, now I use PLS model to work on my research because it can work with limited size of data and also can handle complex models to reflect how investors react to certain things. Okay, so my final finding is that I use IPD because I found, okay, only I to P and P to D and the whole pathway is significant at least 5% level. So that means, okay, the investor first collect the information and information affects their opinion toward company's adoption of cryptocurrency or blockchain, and then they make their decisions. So now let's say my major regression model. So I found, okay, if I use a full sample, I found investors have negative reactions toward both cryptocurrency and the blockchain, and they are significant at least at a 5% level. So it's very significant. They have strong negative opinion toward these two topics. But if we see, okay, if we only see cryptocurrency, still we see a strong negative reaction toward cryptocurrency if the company only works with cryptocurrency without working with blockchain. But if we only see blockchain, we see, even though we still see negative coefficients, but the correlations is very weak, even have no, uh, there has no correlation. So that means, okay, the strong negative correlation toward the cryptocurrency and blockchain probably is affected by the cryptocurrency, not for the blockchain. And another interesting finding is this. So starting from day four, we found the abnormal return gradually turns to positive. So that means, okay, the investors' reaction toward companies' engagement with cryptocurrency or blockchain, it's just a short reaction. It's just kind of an initiative, but gradually they just return to normal. So this is very interesting results. Another thing, okay, we didn't find investor have different reactions if the company's first time disclose s- cryptocurrency information or their second time of the more time to disclose such information. So another thing we need to know is that if a company discloses cryptocurrency or blockchain keywords, doesn't necessarily mean they really has something to do with this thing. Okay, for example, they probably just say, okay, we face a competition for cryptocurrency, so that means that they had nothing to do with that. So to better understand how company react to or how company engage with cryptocurrency, I do a topic analysis and I found 14 topics. So two topics. One is competition environment, like I mentioned. So just say they face competition from blockchain technology or cryptocurrency. Another thing is online shopping. So online shopping, that means you can just purchase uh, their virtual currency and purchase their stuff, like playing their games. These two topics has nothing to do with cryptocurrency or blockchain. And interesting, if you found, I only do this from 2014 and 21, and you find, okay, so major topic is in this competition environment. So that means, okay, our major topics has nothing to do really has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. And we found this topic analysis, and we found all the strong reaction toward competition environment and other parts that like M&A, merge and acquisition, technology development, investors really have positive opinions towards these topics and all these topics except for online shopping. This probably largely explain why we found in the first correlation we found uh, positive reaction toward virtual currency because virtual currency largely correlated with on-site shopping. That is really has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. So except for these two topics, everything we say either have no correlation or they have positive correlation. That means investors really have positive opinion toward cryptocurrency. That is probably explain why more companies they mention their interest in investing in cryptocurrency. So that is needs to be further examined in the future to see uh, why investor toward to have positive opinion toward these topics if the general idea is cryptocurrency is something negative. And I also work on event study using OS regression, and I barely found any significant correlations. The major issue is probably because limited data sets, and also because uh, we need a more complex model to reflect investors' decision making. Okay, so my conclusion is pretty straightforward. So investors have initial negative opinions toward blockchain or cryptocurrency related disclosure in a 3-day window, but the negative reaction is reversed starting from day four. And also, good financial health is a crucial factor for adopting cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And investor trade forms force the time adoption, uh, no different ways, uh, the following years. And the last thing is the initial negative reaction is likely driven by the competition environment, like we see in the table. So they tend to have positive opinions or even no reaction to other topics that are really associated with cryptocurrency or blockchain. Okay, that is my research, and thank you for your listening. And if you have interest into this topic, I'm glad you can reach out to me so we can discuss further.